Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at our G82 M4 in this very subtle mint green color. Hope you guys have got used to the brightness of the car. It certainly does attract a lot of attention out in the general public. So I've had the car for around 2 weeks now. We've done 600 miles, so we've still got a few hundred miles left to go until we do the run-in service. But there are a few things that I want to change straight away to start making it our car. This car will go through a full transformation, but there's 5 things that I immediately want to change on it. So let's go take a look at those. So these are the 5 things I want to change, and if you follow the channel you will notice that these are actually from our old G80 M3, which has now departed and left us for good. So let's take a closer look. We have the Evolve paddle shifters over here, which are Billet Aluminium. We have done a separate video actually on all of these products, so you can go back and look at those. So I'm just going to do a brief overview in this. The standard car does come with the carbon fiber paddle shifters. They look okay from the front, and I really like the red touch on the plus and minus signs, but I really hate the feel of them. From the back they're plastic and they just don't feel nice. These feel premium. We have under the bonnet a full line strut brace. Again, the standard one looks really cheap. I'm not sure who welded it, but it's not very good at all. This one, again, machined billet and just looks fantastic under the engine bay and gives it a nice lift. Over here we have the Indiv carbon fiber air vent. So we have done something on this before, and the standard one is black gloss and it doesn't match the carbon in the rest of the car. I personally like this because it changes the feel of the car inside and provides a bit more carbon, and who doesn't like carbon? Speaking of carbon, moving over to the next 2 items, we have the Alpha N corners. So if you saw my initial video, you would have said that it looks like on the front bumper there's something missing. It doesn't quite follow the line round. We have had these fitted on our G80, as I mentioned, and they do provide a fuller front bumper. So until we have a full front lip, these will be going on. And last but not least, we have the full Eventuri intake system. I'm not going to go into too much detail about this. Bilal has done a really large development video on this where he breaks all the components down and looks at why the intake works and how he designed it, including these very special dimples inside the turbo inlets. So if you're interested to find out more about this intake, we'll put a link up here and you can click it and watch the development video. Again, this provides a really nice look under the bonnet. Not only that, I have been driving around the G80 with this and I really like the intake sounds. You can hear the turbo coming through a lot more. So let's get these parts on the car and we'll take a look at it afterwards. So the 5 modifications we showed you at the beginning have been fitted to the car. I really like the Alpha N front corners, really like them on the G80. They really clean up the front bumper area and make it look a little bit wider. With the standard corners, just looks a little bit pinched. So a very small change, but makes a big difference. Under the engine bay, the Eventuri intakes and the 4-line strut brace have really made a nice impact under the engine bay. Looks very expensive now. Interior wise, the paddles, I really like these, not just because they're ours. The standard ones do look good because they're carbon from the outside, but they're still plastic from behind, and when you touch them they do feel cheap, whereas these are machined billet, so they actually feel really good to the touch. Also, the Indiv carbon vent is a very small touch, but also lifts the interior and matches the rest of the carbon in the car. Apart from those 5 modifications, we do have 2 bonus things to go on the car. The eagle-eyed among you would have noticed the Evolve number plates on the front of this car. They are the same ones that would have been on our F10, which was one of the quickest in its day, our F90, which was one of the quickest in its day. So the G82 has a legacy to live up to, and we'll be tuning this car over the next couple of months. Big shout out to Raj from Full House Customs for making the plates and actually spacing them properly. We had a set made from somebody else and they weren't good, but Raj has got them spot on as normal. The other thing I want to show you quickly is some cup holders from our friend Studie in Japan. Not something that's very popular in Europe or America, but very popular over in Japan. So you get one for the left vent and one for the right vent, and they just snap in here, click into place, and they're useful for these kind of coffee cups. So we're not sponsored by Greggs, but if anyone for Greggs is watching, we'll gladly take some vouchers or something because we spend a lot of money there. So when that's sitting in the center console and you lift it up, you are at risk of taking the lid off if it's not on properly. Over here you don't have that problem because you can pick it up from the side. Also, guys in America have been complaining that when you have a cup in the center console and you're changing the gear on the manual gearbox, you can actually hit the cup or drink. So this then takes that out of the equation. A small change, some people like it, some won't, but it is now available to buy. Hope you've enjoyed those 5 small changes that we've made to the car. Once the running service is done, we'll be making the car lower and louder, and after that we'll get to the real tuning and make this car more powerful, so stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you liked the video, please remember to smash that like button, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. If you want to join the conversation, please drop a comment below and we'll try our best to respond to you. If you want to watch more of this project, you can do so over here. If you want to watch what YouTube thinks you might like from our other content, you can do so over here.